Today on Stat Block, we roll initiative.
Oh, that was a good intro. That's our jazz intro.
Attaboy. Today on a very special episode of Stat Block, we're going to start a new recurring segment where we discuss DM optional rules.
What?
Because there are many variants
There's
of the
a
rules.
lot. Oh my god.
And we couldn't cover them all in just one episode. So we're just going to focus on one today.
What are we going to focus on?
Initiative.
Roll.
Optional initiative rolls.
Natural 20.
Baseline initiative rolls. Advantage on initiative rolls.
Advantage on initiative rolls.
Possibly.
That's cool.
It's a little underpowered.
Proficiency on advantage rolls.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Bards get that.
Oh, okay.
Like their Jack of all trades ability that gives them half proficiency.
Yes.
Technically, it's a dexterity check.
Okay.
So they get proficiency on advantage or on initiative.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
And like you could totally have a magic item that gives you
Yeah.
proficiency in like initiative rolls. Oh my god. Wow. Anyways, that's not what today's about.
Back on track.
Give me a rule. Let's discuss it.
Baseline rule.
Baseline.
Very straightforward.
Yep.
Combat begins.
Dex check.
You roll a d20 and add your dexterity modifier to it.
And maybe half your proficiency.
If
you're a bard.
If you're a bard.
I love it.
And that's your score.
I don't
Very
actually
simple.
love it.
Very simple.
I don't hate it.
It's not my favorite.
But I think that a lot of the times, you know, if your rogue rolls a 1 and they get a 6 initiative, it doesn't make sense that the zombie that you're fighting
Exactly.
gets the drop on them.
Exactly.
Like,
It's the only way I've ever done initiative.
Yep.
Is with the baseline rule. But I'm very interested in the first optional rule we're going to talk about, which is initiative score.
lay it on me.
Basically, every character has an initiative value at all times,
Okay.
which is 10 plus their dexterity modifier.
Yeah.
And that's your initiative
that's it,
score.
yeah. That's good. It makes sense.
Yep.
Again, I'm going to use this word realism that I like to use a lot. Dexterous characters are by default quicker
Mm-hmm.
than other characters. Like that's a part of what that stat represents.
Mm-hmm.
And you could argue that strength can also but it's really dexterity.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that the more dexterous you are, that you should be going first in combat, that is.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, what this does is
It speed things up.
it does, but it also only ranges. Really, it only allows initiative to be somewhere between like 8 and 15.
Mm-hmm.
So it means that a lot of the times you might be tying with people, and then you have to like kind of clear that up.
Yeah.
But it definitely does speed things up. You know where you are, like kind of in the world of initiative, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Like, you know, like if you have like a 13 initiative, you know, oh, okay, I'll be going in the upper half a lot of the times.
Yeah. They frame it in the DMG that it speeds up the game at the cost of having predictable initiative order. But that I don't think that's a bad thing.
I don't think it's terrible. So, like, I do think there's merit for, like, I know that I just complained about a zombie getting a drop on a rogue,
Yep.
but, like, combat is, it's not perfect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's, in real life combat, like, it's not solved, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it should make sense that, you know, this gets the drop on you. So maybe it should be like your dex score, like plus a d4.
Yeah.
Because that way it's more consistent, but there's still an opportunity for these like things to be changed, right?
And
but then it kind of gets rid of the whole point of not rolling.
yeah. And it doesn't eliminate like surprise rounds.
No,
So
like,
if your characters are being careless or your players are being careless or just not paying attention, they can still be attacked first in like a combat
so
scenario.
they can still be attacked first, but then they wouldn't be surprised, because that's the whole point of surprise rounds. Is that if you go first in a surprise round,
Yes.
you're no longer surprised. You just don't get your action.
Oh, okay.
So then you wouldn't be considered surprised, so you wouldn't get the advantage on the attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you roll for initiative, then you can have your attackers
I gotcha.
potentially roll higher than
Yep.
the people being attacked. Because that's how surprise rounds actually work in 5th edition.
Everyone
messes it up.
Everyone I've played with has done it a different way.
Yeah.
It's
There's one right way to do it, and that is the way.
Yes.
Yes. But that's okay, because rules are just guidelines.
The way I see it like most often is that the DM just lets the players like unload and then roll initiative.
Each person just like gets a turn to just fuck something up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, okay, now we'll do initiative. And it's like, that's not right at all. If you actually want to know real quick, the explanation of how it works is that everyone rolls initiative, and then everyone who is surprised gets the surprise like a modifier put on them, and then whenever it's their turn, they can do nothing, but they lose the surprise modifier, and then it goes to the next person's turn. So if they are surprised but go before you, attacking them doesn't give you like any.
They're not surprised
anymore, which makes sense.
They just they just didn't react.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's actually how surprise attacks.
That's smart, actually.
Yeah, it is.
I like that.
And it also is the reason why people think that rogues are better than they are, even though they're stupid.
Yeah.
They're only the second best class.
I don't know about that.
Paladins are better.
That's a conversation for another day.
I'm pretty sure we brought this up like 8 times.
Yes. We will debate it until the day we die. Let's go to the second initiative variant listed in the DMG here. It is called the side initiative or the group initiative, where basically at the start of combat, each side of the opposing battle rolls a d20, and whoever rolls the highest, their entire group
I hate this.
acts
Everything about this is
before
awful.
the other group.
I hate this so much.
I also really am not fond of it.
Action economy in 5th edition is so important. Like if you have like a 4-on-4 fight and one enemy goes down, that fight has gone from like quote unquote 50-50 to like 80-20.
Yep.
Which is why DMs, which is why legendary actions are so important for your big bad guys, because without them, if they're by themselves and don't have any henchmen, then the action economy is so skewed. But when I say action economy, all I mean is that like how many actions is the enemy doing compared to how many actions is your players doing. So what this rolling does is polarizes combat. It's a very swingy combat. Like you're either gonna win or lose, but you're gonna do it very hard and very quick in either way. If that makes sense. Like
it gives both sides a chance, because you can act in whatever order you want when it's your side's turn.
Yeah.
So it gives both sides a chance to like really coordinate and just like obliterate the other
exactly.
the other team.
Like if you do this type of initiative and your enemies are remotely intelligent or have any amount of information on your party, they're gonna attack either the spellcaster or the healer first, and just down them. Yeah, because like your fighter's not gonna have the chance to like get in the way or like muck up, and like go into combat and like muck them up. Like, you're just. This is, I think this is bad. I just don't like this. So I do think there is merit to a system like this.
I like the idea of like the teamwork aspect of it.
And I think we were talking about this before. If I was running for some ungodly reason, like 9 people, what I would do, I could see this initiative being useful then, but then I would split them into groups of 3.
And each one is
and I would split the enemies into that many groups as well. and then roll those.
Okay. Yeah, that could work.
Because instead of rolling 25 initiative, which like I've done like those big scale combats, that sucks.
Yeah.
As a DM, it sucks.
Well, it says right here in the rules, the biggest upside of doing it this way is it makes the DM's life easier.
Yeah. So I, for the most part, think that for your average D&D game, this is a bad idea. I think if you want to do like large scale wars,
this would be awesome.
This is where you start bringing this in.
Yep.
Or if you have very large parties, even like 7 people, I could see like, okay, we'll split one group of 3, one group of 4, and then I'll give the enemies like 3 or 4 groups as well.
Yeah.
And I think that might be fine.
Yep.
But I think just for your like Joe Schmo average game of D&D, this is unnecessary.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially considering like depending on which side goes first and how strong they are.
Exactly.
They can just wipe out.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
wipe out the entire other side without them even getting a chance to react.
Even if let's say your wizard goes first, and none of the enemies have moved, fireball.
Yep.
Like just hits every single one of them, right?
Yep.
And like that's destructive.
Yep. Or if you have 4 smart enemies.
Yeah.
They just attack on each side of one player and just take them out in turn 1.
Exactly. Like they all. Well, if you're using the flanking alternate rule.
Well.
Oh, that's gonna be the.
Don't even go there.
That's gonna be the finale of this. It's just talking about alternate rules flanking.
There are no good versions of flanking.
I think the hex version of flanking is ridiculous.
There are no good versions of flanking.
We're talking about this initiative roll. I think it's unnecessary for 4 players. If you have 7 up, 7 or more, it can become useful if you're doing large battles. I mean, like, I wouldn't even look at this until I have 20 people in the battle, not including my PCs. But then at that point, I also might just want to make them minions. Shout out to Matt Coville and 4th edition. Minions are really cool.
One hit point
enemies. But they have all the stats of whatever the monster is. I would advise looking into that. But I don't think that this is super necessary, this initiative. No. I think it does have some merits, but I'll give it a 6.
On a scale of what?
12.
Dum-dum. I'm going to read through this one real quick because it's fucking lengthy as anything.
Is this the based on how you attack one?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
The speed factor variant of initiative.
This one's so complicated. But this is the most realistic one.
For sure. I'll read it out here. Some DMs find the regular progression of initiative too predictable and prone to abuse. Valid. Players can use their knowledge of the initiative order to influence their decisions. For example, a badly wounded fighter might charge a troll because he knows that the cleric goes before the monster and can heal him. Absolutely happens.
All the time.
I absolutely use that to my advantage.
I'm going to hold my action until you do this thing because I know you're going to do this thing.
That's right. That's right. I even, last time we played, I was like, I've seen Giblet cast Cone of Cold before. How far does it extend? Where can I stand where I know it won't hit me on his next turn?
You knew that I was going to go next. Exactly. So you knew to move out of combat. Yeah.
Speed factor is an option for initiative that introduces more uncertainty into combat at the cost of speed of play. Under this variant, the participants in battle roll initiative each round. Before rolling, each character or monster must choose an action. So cool.
Super cool.
Again, realism.
Okay, so surprise, I really like this rule.
Yep.
Because I like realism.
Yep.
And I'm a rules lawyer. So yeah, essentially, boiled down version of this is that you announce what you're going to do for this turn, and then roll a d20. And so it's a regular dexterity, or it's like a regular initiative roll every turn with a penalty or bonus based on what you're doing.
Yes.
So attacking with light or finesse weapons confers like what, +2?
Here, I'll read out the table.
Please do.
Because it's not super...
It's not, it's like 4 or 5 things, right?
So spellcasting, if you're going to...
It's like -5.
It's you subtract the spell's level from your initiative roll.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that makes a lot of sense.
It does.
If you're attacking with a melee heavy weapon, it is a -2.
Okay.
A melee light or finesse is a +2.
Yep.
A melee two-handed weapon is -2. and a ranged or a loading weapon is -5.
Wow.
Because you got to line that shit up.
Yeah. Oh, that makes again. So then, if you're attacking with a two-handed heavy weapon, that's -4.
Mm-hmm.
If you're attacking with a two-handed finesse weapon that I don't think exists,
I don't think so
it'll be
either.
+0. Anyways, the point of this is to like simulate a more real combat.
Mm-hmm. It's cool.
It is really cool.
I feel like it would really elongate things.
So here's the thing: is that I understand it would elongate things because you have to roll an additional thing every turn, but I think it would actually shorten combat because you have to choose what you're doing at the same time.
Okay.
So like you don't get to like that state where you like go to somebody's turn and they're like, I don't know what to do. Like you have to like just it doesn't matter. Like if everyone else at the table's like, I'm ready, and they're looking at you, they're like, shit, like I gotta
Yeah.
I gotta pick my thing. Like what's going on?
Yeah. Okay.
So,
yeah, I can see how that.
But I do think like on average it would probably slow the game down. But I don't think it would be that much. But I also think it adds a layer of complication that for a lot of tables is just unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that a lot of players will just look at this and be like, whatever.
I think as a DM, if you're managing like more than 3 creatures, this would be hell.
You think so?
Yeah.
Because, well, at that point, I almost feel like you can just like make the like there's no reason that players can't help you with initiative. So I've been thinking about this for a while.
Okay.
Like, there's nothing like the players all announce what their initiative is, anyways.
Yes.
Like, and then after the first round of combat, they know when the creatures are going.
That's
right?
true, actually. Yeah.
So there's nothing that says that like you can't just like make your players like keep track of initiative and then you keep track of the monster's initiative, and like even then, like even if you're doing 6, you're just like, okay, I have a 19, like does anyone beat that?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, we both do. You're like, okay, go.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I've also been thinking about that with hit points.
Okay.
Like you can totally have your players help you track hit points.
Oh, like I've done this much damage to this.
Like again, they shouldn't know.
Yeah.
Like actually
hit
in
point
universe.
Maximum, yeah.
But like every time you say how much damage you do, you have to announce it.
Yeah.
Right?
So you might as well
just like keep track of it on the piece of paper. Make them like on the like on a sheet, or like if you're playing with a battle mat, just like write down, just like add up.
Yep.
Obviously, like, and then it gets it's almost cooler that way because you're like, holy shit, we've done 300 damage to this thing and it's still alive.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's just fine. That's an option for me.
Okay.
But I think that this one, you're right. This is not something for large scale battles.
No.
But if you're like doing little skirmishes, I think this is really cool.
Okay. One more little additional part of this. There's also initiative modifiers based on your creature size.
Oh.
So tiny creatures have a +5.
Okay.
Small creatures a +2.
Yep.
Medium +0. And then -2 for large, -5 for huge, and -8 for gargantuan.
I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that gargantuan creatures can be dexterous, but even then, like, you're still... Since you're 20 by 20...
Oh, shut up. Check out our episode on Size Matters.
Oh, God.
To catch that sick ref.
Your just movements are going to take more energy and will be, like, slower than something small. Also, another interesting thing about this initiative that I just really thought about is that it nerfs spellcasters like a lot.
Yeah, it absolutely.
Well, not
does.
like a lot, but like
enough.
But it makes sense.
Yeah,
like if you stand still and begin casting your fireball, and you just like look to your left and see your fighter running headlong.
Yeah.
Before you.
Yep.
It's too late.
Yeah.
You've already changed it.
Oh,
like,
it's so cruel. Yeah.
It is, but like that.
Yeah.
You know, like you've already announced, and if you're making everyone,
but if you've announced it, then maybe your fighter would be like, "Oh, I better stay away."
But that's the thing. I would make everyone like, almost like not obviously simultaneously, but like, what I would do.
Yeah.
Is holy no, because you're not gonna say, "Hey, I'm casting a spell here."
Yeah.
I would just say, "Are you casting a spell? Are you making a ranged attack, or are you attacking?" And then they would roll.
Oh, okay.
So you don't say who you're attacking, because that's fine to change, right?
Yep.
But that means that
Oh.
yeah.
So instead of picking a target, you'd pick an action.
Correct.
And then once your turn
Because that's
comes,
what that's saying, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
I would say, okay, the wizard is like, I'm going to cast Fireball.
That would be actually really interesting to play with.
That would be, because then the fighter, like, but that's the thing. Is that another thing? In battle, it makes sense. The fighter begins to see this, like, orange energy swirl in the wizard's hand, and they probably already know what this spell does, because they've probably traveled with them before.
Yep.
And then they have to think, where is it most likely going to go?
Yeah.
Should I go there? Is it okay if I go there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, again, it's a layer of complexity
Yeah.
that, like, me as Nathan, I really like this.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a cool way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think for the average table, though, it's not
necessary.
there.
Yeah.
I even think for our table, like, we're all DMs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Rob would like this.
I don't think so either.
I don't know how Adrian would feel about this.
Yeah.
I think he would probably try it and then never do it again.
Yeah.
I would definitely do this, and I think you would do this.
I would do this.
Yeah.
I would do this for sure. I'm considering doing this,
There you go.
but I also really like the idea of initiative score.
Yeah. Are there any other?
That's it. That's all that's listed in
That's fair.
in the DMG.
Let's hear.
anyways.
But you also even had a.
Yeah, so it's similar to initiative score.
But this one actually gives you a wider range.
yes,
Which
so
I like.
your initiative your initiative going into battle
Mm-hmm.
is your dexterity score.
So, just again, no, it's not your dexterity modifier.
No, it is your
it's
score.
your score.
So if you have a dexterity of 14, your initiative when you enter battle is 14.
Which this one I like because
Mm-hmm.
it really widens up the range. Because the gripe that I had with the other one is again that like you're gonna get like a lot of, oh, we both have 15. Like,
Yeah,
Who goes first, right?
Yep.
But like this way, the range
The way to wangy.
the range is much wider.
Mm-hmm.
And it still makes sense, like, quote unquote, realistically.
Mhm.
Quicker creatures go first.
Yep.
But like now you're like monsters that have like 23 dexterity or something.
Yeah.
Or like even 21 dex, which is still +5,
Mhm.
but like for some reason matters.
Mhm.
Now it actually matters. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
I like that. I like your slight tweak of that.
Thank you.
You're
Yeah, I the next campaign I run, I think I'm gonna try doing it that way.
Yeah.
And again, it falls into the trap of like combat becomes predictable, or
Yeah.
initiative order becomes predictable. But I think that just makes sense.
Yeah, no, like it for the most part, I think I will agree with you. Like it just the quicker people go first, right?
Yep.
And that's what dexterity score.
Yep.
One of the things dexterity score represents.
Yeah.
Also, DMs, short aside, if you don't know, bards get half proficiency on initiative rolls once they get the jack of all trades, and there's no reason. I feel like initiative is one of those things that is like untouched all the times.
Mhm.
There's no reason a magic item can't give advantage on initiative rolls,
Yeah.
or proficiency in initiative, or like maybe you kind of use the portent ability and like just give yourself an initiative roll.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
could give them like a rogue's reliable talent, like your initiative can never be lower than blah, right?
Mhm.
Like these are all design spaces that obviously they are used. Like there are things that do what I just said,
Yeah.
but I feel like they're kind of underused.
You got to use your discretion. You gotta take some chances, try some things out sometimes.
Exactly. So try some alternate rules.
Yeah.
We'll do this again. There's the DMG is basically like optionate rules.
Oh my
the
gosh.
book.
Yes.
So
There's a ton.
There's a lot to talk
It
about.
really
and,
expands on.
Yeah.
I think next time we'll talk about travel rules
Okay.
because there are some pretty juicy ones.
They're really cool. But bye.
Oh god.
Say the tip of the tongue, and you feel your tongue.
The tip
Tip of the tongue.
of the tongue.
You feel it against your teeth, right? The tip of the tongue,
Yes.
and the lip,
And the lips.
and the teeth. You show your teeth when you
Yeah,
say.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
there's a lot of tooth licking in
There's a
that.
lot, isn't it? It happens, right? The tip of the tongue and the lips and the teeth.
Ugh, it's horrible.